I left Thomasville completely enamored and completely drenched in sweat. The perfect way to arrive for a VIP reunion that I need to get back to Florida for. The Babe Bus is about to have her very first experience in a legit RV park right on the water. I'm going to spin this around and show you what is about to be. Oh, I just passed it. I'm doing good. Shit. Well, we're going to take the scenic route. Look at where I'm staying. I swore I would not stay in any RV parks. We're looking for spot 71. I don't even know how they're labeled. Ma'am? I am lost? But I'm not here for the communal toilets. Well, that's a lie. I'd love a real toilet at this point. I'm here to see the two people who helped inspire the Babe Bus years ago. More on that later. My reservation is on Mullet Lane. Mullet Lane. Now, I'm no fortune teller, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to find the future Mr. Casey Roman here. We will marry at the cement pool. The park was not what I expected. It was so much better. While the Babe Bus and her driver totally stuck out as the unicorn of the group, the vibe was camping community, and the view at the water could not be beat. Hank and Edie and I recreated the photo we had taken years ago when we ran into each other in Apalachicola, the very place I'm headed to next to celebrate the 1-month anniversary of the Babe Bus at its birthplace. I also grabbed a photo with my future ex-husband, Rudy. We did not get married at the cement pond, but while Rudy did maintenance on the RV park, I folded laundry in the van and we mused about 30 amp plugs. Rudy, we will always have March 2019. But, I gotta go. On my way, I stop in Carabelle, Florida for a bit of nostalgia at the Carabelle Junction. Here, a bell announces your arrival. The jukebox is ready. Milkshakes are made to order, and the customers are so loyal, they Rolodex their buy 10 get 1 free cards at the counter. The owner told me he moved to tiny Carabelle from San Francisco 17 years ago, and he brought his entire collection with him, needing somewhere to put it all. Small town restaurant seemed like the perfect place. At the corner, I find the world's smallest police department. Get this. In the 60s, the town had a problem with tourists making long-distance calls on their police phone, which was located in a call box outside a building. And the poor officers were always getting drenched answering calls when it rained. Typically, one officer would wait in his patrol car until the phone rang and then dispatch himself to the call. So to solve both problems, the police phone was moved into a telephone booth. Predictably, and unfortunately, the rogue tourist calls continued, and then the telephone booth was vandalized, shot at, and nearly destroyed. The phone came out, and what you see today is a replica of what once was. But just imagine the one officer on duty sitting here, just waiting for his first big call of the night. What I didn't know, as I sat here, was that in a few short hours, I would be needing to make a call like that myself, pleading for an officer to come quick. Apalachicola is where artists hustle their wares and snowbirds come down to spend all their money taking their souvenirs home. Babe Cave, Babe Cave, Babe Cave. It's filled with historic homes, and it's where the idea for the Babe Bus was born. It is entirely appropriate that for the 1-month anniversary of the Babe Bus, I am back here in Apalachicola, Florida. I'm walking through the residential area for the little historic homes. Well, there's nothing little bit about them. I get to hang out with stunners like these all by myself. I'll go back downtown. It's an adorable downtown, but it is also a bit too people-y right now. Anyway, so 1 month in the van. Now, I've told this story before, but Apalachicola really inspired the Babe Bus, especially the two people I met when I was down here. So I'm gonna give this to you again because we've got a lot of new people on the channel, which is awesome. Okay, so what happened? It was a couple years ago, and I was on an extensive road trip by myself. I've taken a few of those. when it is the winter time and you are having a blast, you're not paying attention to the sun, you're not paying attention to what time it is, and what happens at least once, if not twice, every single road trip I've been on is you forget the day, you forget where you are, you forget that you need to make a hotel reservation or come up with somewhere to stay that night. The sun sets very quick, it just runs into the horizon in the winter, and suddenly you are SOL, right? You have got no options. So that's what happened. And I drove all day long that day, and I finally I'm gonna go down this alley so that these people stop looking at me from their porches, because it's not creepy that I'm in an alley, right? Anyway, I get to Apalachicola, I am exhausted. I am so tired of driving, I'm hungry, and I did not know that every single hotel room would be booked here, including the bed and breakfast, because it was like some conference that week. It was like the National Jellyfish Association of America was meeting that week, and everything was booked up. And I mean, I was like beside myself, because when you're in this part of the country, the towns are smaller, they're spaced farther and farther apart, and just the idea of having to get back in the car and drive another hour or 2 hours, I mean, there was just no way. So I went downtown, and I found this adorable little coffee shop that was still open. And I was basically begging the barista to somehow, if she had a friend that had a couch, I mean, I didn't care. I would have slept in her cleaning closet if she had let me. And she had no idea, and I was really getting desperate. And behind me, I heard a man's voice say, are you looking for, what's going on? I'm sure I looked pitiful. And I turned around, and it's this husband and wife, and, I gave him the rundown, and they said, well, where are you visiting from? Wilmington, North Carolina. Oh, we're from Topsail. Well, Topsail's right around the corner from Wilmington. It's always cool when you meet people from home when you're far away. So we kind of became instant friends, and they said, we'll figure this out. You don't worry. And I'm like, okay, bro. Well, he did. And he got me this little garage apartment just from a friend of a friend. But it was that experience of being so tired and exhausted and famished, where I remember thinking that night, I just want something where I can just go to sleep in my car. Like I just want to be able to pull over and sleep pretty much anywhere. And then years later, that was kind of the inspiration behind the van, because it happens every single road trip. Every single road trip, you just kind of get stuck and you just want to crash. And I couldn't do that in my little Scion. And now in Apalachicola, all these years later, I've got the Babe bus. I'm not worried where I'm going to sleep tonight. And we're having a little reunion to bring her back full circle to where we were those years ago, and then where we are today with my baby, who is 1 month old today, on the road. I parked the van in the safe overnight parking lot near the water, the only place RVers can legally overnight and within eyeshot of the police department. Around midnight, a man wielding a long pipe approached the Babe bus and started yelling and slamming it into the ground. Most, if not all, of Apalachicola's police department responded, but he took off. Well, needless to say, I slept not a wink. Van life is an adventure, but it's not all rainbows and vegan hot dogs. If you want to be out in the world, you will encounter the very good and the very terrifying, both of which exist within it. But in the morning, a fishing boat pulled up, and as fried as my nerves were, I got a hug from above when I saw the name on the vessel, Miss Martha. Martha was my paternal grandmother / best friend's name. Well, Marcia, it's Dutch. I took that as a sign that while I am absolutely shaken up, I'm also exactly where I need to be, and not as alone as it can often feel. I pack up the van and keep moving west. Miles out from Mexico Beach, I start to see the debris piles. Nearly 6 months ago, Hurricane Michael slammed into this part of the Gulf and leveled entire communities. What made Michael so insidious was its surprise surge. Now, I've been through and reported on several hurricanes. We know weeks beforehand when one is coming. You can prepare. But most everyone, self included, who lives in Hurricane Alley doesn't fret or evacuate until it's a Category 3 or more. When Michael approached the area of Mexico Beach, everyone went to bed expecting a Category 2. They awoke to nearly a Category 5. There was no time to flee and no time to prepare. When Hurricane Michael hit, I will never forget watching the first and last moments on the video feeds. It's a horrible, hollow, and helpless feeling, seeing houses come down, knowing there are people inside who are watching the walls come down around them, and there's nothing that anyone can do. Months later, Mexico Beach and the larger area are still digging out from under the rubble. Houses have disappeared, the rest are vacant, and another hurricane season is not far off. There are pleas for help on some of the walls, and little signs of hope. These people truly did lose everything, except their perseverance. That's been strained, but not destroyed, and you can see it in every star-spangled banner dotting the rubble piles.